Welcome to Catholic Alpha Unleashed, where Christian soldiers congregate, where we rock the authentic manliness of our Lord Jesus Christ, filtered through His truth, which is the only truth of real men of courage, while condemning the cowardly actions of the effeminate, the emasculated, the just plain wusses of our society. Moreover, forever presenting the question: be you wuss or be you warrior?
Christian soldier, the battle is upon you. Aloofness is no longer acceptable. For decades, you have been emasculated. For decades, you have been feminized. Christ demands, stop their advance. For your beloved, your children. Will you enter the battle? Marriage Unchained for husbands. Iron sharpens iron. Join now.
Hello again, and welcome to Catholic Alpha Unleashed. I'm Jerry Jacobs Jr., and I save marriages. So let's do this. Welcome back to part 2 of Are You a Holy Lover? Your Manhood on Trial. Are you a holy lover? Your manhood on trial. So today's quote: a man of courage embraces suffering, serves thy beloved, sacrifices self while being the rock for masculinity and the full truth of Christianity. Catholic Alpha. So in part 1, Are You a Holy Lover? Your Manhood on Trial, we covered the first category of what it takes to even be a holy lover, to reach holy lover status, which was prayer warfare. We also covered what a holy lover is and why you should strive to meet holy lover status and take the holy lover challenge. Part 1 focused on prayer warfare. Part 2 will focus on the art of manliness, and the next and last will focus on love-making mastery. So let's get started, shall we? Category 2, the art of manliness. Being a man's hard, but today we abandon our masculinity in favor of comfort. Being a man is hard. It's hard out here. And what we've done, a lot of us, is we've abandoned our masculinity, our manhood, and because we just have too much comfort. We don't want to do anything tough. Like right now, a lot of dudes, to get dudes to even watch a video like this or to read a blog that has any meaning about their marriage and their life to help them change and make their house and their home peaceful by leaning on the Father, it's hard. I mean, they just don't want to do it. No one wants to do the tough stuff, to sacrifice now to be great later. And that's the problem. This category is mainly about manning up. The art of manliness is about manning up, as well as stopping the whining and complaining and begin to use Christ as our example of what masculinity actually is. We have forgotten what masculinity is. We think masculinity is going out and hitting the clubs, which ain't nothing wrong with the clubs, but everything in its place. Going out and trying to get with all the women, trying to get all the money, trying to have all the cars and all these types of things. But man, look, I like that stuff. But those are pleasurable things. we have to get away from pleasure and do the tough stuff, because those things I just mentioned, they're not going to make you grow as a person. They won't. They will keep you where you are, and you'll be 90 years old, 75, 80 years old, still doing the same stuff at 60 that you was doing at 10 or 20 or 30. Is that what you really want? I don't know. You have to answer that for yourself. So, Christ is our example of a man. Remember, I know today Christ, man, you know, a lot of people and a lot of images of Christ in all the churches, even the Catholic Church, all the churches, Presbyterian Church, and any church really you go to, Christ is just, he just looks soft. He looks weak. He looks weak. He just, you know, his images don't exude and make you want to, as a man, you know, really embrace him. That's because the churches are feminized. Everything is for the women. You know, long hair, you know, pretty, really white, bright skin color. I mean, I have nothing against that if that's what Christ really looked like, but he didn't look like that. He was tanned, but that doesn't even matter. I'm not tripping on that. What I don't like is, no matter what color or race you are, we exude masculinity. A man wants to see manliness and man, so he can develop his manhood. And right now, in most of these churches over the last, I don't know, so many years, Christ hasn't looked like that. But I want to say this, don't get it twisted. Just because of what people have him looking like does not mean that's the way he was. If you just read the Gospels, you will see that Christ was direct, he was strong, he was definitely masculine, and he did what none of us could do. I mean, could you as a man, for 33 years, knowing you was going to die, what was going to happen to you, would you run away from that, abandon that mission? Would you? That's the ultimate of manliness right there. That's fortitude. That's perseverance. Knowing, that's courage. Even though you're fearful, you stand there and you endure it for what? For sacrifice, for your wife, for your children, for God himself. Those are the three things you die for. So Christ, and then not on that, you know, carrying that cross all up them hills, which is what he asks us to do every day. But most of us have been in that. We don't want to do anything that's not pleasurable. Everything we do is about, you know, making us feel good. Well, man, guess what? That doesn't make you a man. And I'm not talking about physical strength. I'm talking about the intellect, mental strength. Because there's always somebody that can kick your butt. I mean, I don't care how tough you think you are. Even Muhammad Ali, he got his butt whooped too. I mean, we all, no matter how bad you are, there's always something better. But when we talk about competing of minds and the intellect, that is where the real manhood and toughness and fortitude and perseverance comes in. And that's what I'm trying to say. That was Christ. That was Jesus, man. And if we focus on that, he will help us learn how to be the man that he needs us to be, just like he was. Now, all the stuff I just mentioned, if you think you better to do that, man, then prove it. Come along. So let's get started with the gifts. We did gifts 1 through 8 in the first category. Now we're going to do category 2 and start with gift 9. So gift 9 on how to become a holy lover. Gift number 9 is, a holy lover is his wife's best friend and she is his best friend. Now, you're probably looking at me going, I can't stand being around my wife for more than 15 minutes. Well, and what I'm going to tell you is that's your fault. That's your problem. See, what did you marry your wife for? I mean, when you first got married, you know, when you was trying to get in her pants and everything, you know, she was your best friend, see? But now that you've been together for 2 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, all of a sudden now, you know, your wife, you know, your buddies go before your wife. You know, you want to stay away from your wife. You want to do all the things, but man, you can't, your marriage cannot prosper if your wife and you aren't best friends. How can you share your dreams and everything you want to do with your life and learn about each other if you're not best friends? That's just the way it goes. And that's what a man does. He tries his best to become his wife's best friend. And if you're not doing that, you got a problem. I don't care. Get upset with me. Don't, like I'm gonna see throughout this video, the next video. Listen, all these things I'm talking about is how your marriage is gonna be great and how you're gonna actually the next level as a man. And all these things about being a holy lover, man, that's just what it's about right there. If you want to be less and be mediocre, then go keep doing what you're still doing now and do what the rest of these dudes out here are doing. That trying to act like they happy and they not. So next. So gift 10. A holy lover shows his wife never-ending appreciation. That's hard, ain't it? Even when you're upset or you don't feel like it. But I'm going to tell you what. That's one of the number one things. If your wife is unhappy or if she's giving you grief all the time, or if she just seems like she's not the woman she used to be, probably one of the things is you stop showing appreciation. Man, women thrive on that. Your wife will thrive on that. You have to show her sincere appreciation in everything she does. That's really all she's asking for you. She'll stick by your side for the rest of your life. She'll make you feel like a man. She will, no matter I don't care if she's a CEO executive or if she is a stay-at-home wife or whatever. A woman, you gotta have to show her appreciation. That's the bottom line. Never ever neglect that. If you do, you're gonna regret it. So appreciation, never ending appreciation for every little thing she does. And you ought to be happy because you don't want everybody has their roles. I have my role. My wife has her role, but we don't want to do that. We want to do each other's stuff, but it doesn't matter. Whatever your beloved's doing, show her that you appreciate it. Okay. Gift 11. A holy lover never takes his beloved for granted. Now, this kind of goes on the one prior to on gift number 10. But remember, your masculinity is a gift. That's why I call them gifts. There's 33 gifts. And every time that you enhance that gift and you mature as a man and you mature in your growth towards God, these gifts get even better, and it opens up your intellect and takes the veils off your eyes and shows you the next step to take. So when I say don't take your wife for granted, I see dudes all the time, man. They don't hug their wife. They don't kiss her. They don't look at her and look her deep in her eyes. They don't, everything she does, well, she's supposed to do that. And we got to stop that. You'd be married to a woman for 20, 30 years and, you just don't show her, you just expect her that she's going to always be there. She's not going to always be there. And we have to realize that every day should be a day of, she could be gone tomorrow. That's just the bottom line on that. Okay, gift number 12. A holy lover uses Christ as his ultimate example of manliness. I already talked about that most, here, but what I am going to say is that, look, man, we have to get back to taking responsibility and being the leaders of the society. No longer can we sit back and just let everybody, other people just take the hold. You take the hold. You take the forefront. You start a ministry. You start leading your home and making your marriage the best it can be. You do the work. Stop waiting on everybody else to do the work. You be the example. Do what Christ did. He died for his bride, the church. That's what you got to do. Sacrifice and suffer every day for your beloved and for Christ. That's what you do, man. I mean, that's what a man does. And I promise you, you'll be a lot happier too. You got to stand up and take those darts and take those arrows when it's called for. It's called fortitude. It's called courage, man. It's called conquering your fear. So that's that. Gift 13. A holy lover never ceases learning every inch, every inner thought, every mystery of his beloved, no matter how long they've been married. That's a deep one, ain't it? See, think back to when your wife, or if somebody's watching this and you have a girlfriend, think back when you first met that woman. Just think how you did everything in the world to try to be with her. You put on your best clothes, you look good, you try to look good, you got your hair cut, you worked out, because what was you trying to do? You was trying to get with her. Then what happens? Now you've been married. What you try to, and even I'm going to say, even then, you want to know everything you could about her. You were so into her, and which made her be more into you. See, man, women don't really care how you look. You could be the ugliest man in the world, but if you got game, that's what they want. You show interest in them, you talk to them, and you show them how much you love them. You can get the most beautiful woman in the world if you do that. But now it's not what we do. We get the woman, and then all of a sudden now I don't got no need for her. And see, that's where Christ asks us. That's why he says, don't sleep with your woman before marriage, because that's what's going to happen. You use her up, use up all her beauty and vitality, and then you've been married, and then you don't want her no more. And that's not the way to be. So what I suggest is, especially if you've been married 20, 30, 10, 40 years, man, don't take your wife for granted, man. Believe me, that woman has learned so much. And your job as a man and a husband is to learn every inch of her, every thought. Try to be in her head and understand her and get into her. Really show interest in her for the rest of your life. And she will reward you with the world, but if you stop trying to learn every mystery of your wife, she'll shut down on you. And all these things that I talk about build on each other, man. They really do. If you start pulling things away, then that's when you start having problems. So I'm trying to get you to understand that I'm not saying you're a bad husband, but you're not trying to be bad and you're not trying to be good. You're trying to be great. And that's what we need to be, because only saints go to heaven. Only saints are in heaven. Only saints are in heaven. So, and really, to get to heaven, you got to be a saint, because those are the only ones there. So we have to start striving to be the best husbands that we can be. That's the bottom line on that. Next, gift number 14. A holy lover must suffer, sacrifice, and give his life away a little each day for his beloved, for his wife. A lot of men, you're not going to understand what that's talking about. Now, if I told you right now that, in 10 minutes, when you get home, there's going to be a man with a shotgun in your house, and he's going to put your wife in one chair, and he's going to put you in the other chair, and both of y'all tied up. And there's no way for you out of it. And he's going to ask you, is it going to be you want me to kill your wife, or you want me to kill you? Now, sitting right here, most men, and just, thinking about what I'm saying, you're going to think, I would, kill me. Don't kill my wife. That's my wife. I love her, right? So that's what I'm asking you to do, and that's what God's asking you to do. See, because how many times in your life is there going to be a robber or a murderer with a shotgun, and you're going to have a choice like that to make? Probably never. So what do I mean about sacrifice and suffering? What I mean is this. Every day, you sacrifice and suffer for your wife. You pray for her. You get on your knees. Because, look, man, religion's hard. Praying's hard. That's why dudes don't do it. That's why nobody want to do it. Because it's hard. It's probably the hardest thing, and it is one of the hardest things in life to do. That's why all these dudes and people, even Christians, they give all these mistakes, all these excuses why they don't want to do it. And that's why. That's why they don't want to do the Catholic faith and the Christian faith right. Everybody wants to pick and choose what they want to believe and what they want to do. See, that's the coward's way out. And that's why I'm asking you that when you sacrifice, that means you do what Christ has asked you to do every day for your beloved. And when you don't, that's when you hit confession, or that's when you ask for forgiveness. That's what you do. And you have to give away your life a little each day for your wife. And that's what you do. You put her first. You put yourself last. Every time you need to do something for her and you don't really want to do it, you do it anyway. And what you do is you offer that suffering up to God. And But mainly what you have to do is you got to go to church for her. You got to go to masses for her. You got to be in adoration for her. You got to say roses for her. You got to fast for her. And if you people that don't know what fasting is, that's when you deny yourself food for the benefit and suffering and sacrifice of another. So when you fast for your wife, which means don't eat for her and do that suffering, unite that with Christ, man, and your wife will change. But see, we don't want to do stuff like that. Oh man, I gotta eat everything. I got diabetes. I gotta eat every little thing I can. Man, that's not true. What you need to do is figure out how to start suffering for somebody and sacrifice for somebody other than yourself. And that is your wife. That's how you give your life away every day. That's what you do. That's what a man does. So next. Gift number 15. A holy lover must stand for and seek the truth of the Catholic faith. Oh, hold on. What you talking about? You trying to say the Catholic faith is number one? You trying to say the Protestants ain't nothing? I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to say is that's a great place to start if you're a Protestant. But look, I'm just going to be serious. I'm going to be real because I love you and I want you to understand the truth. The truth is this. And it's not my truth. This is Christ's truth. Matthew 16:18, God left Peter in charge, gave him the keys to the kingdom. Now you can say whatever word you want to say, but it's just the bottom line. He mentions Peter in the New Testament way, way more than he mentions any other apostle. So with the Catholic faith, that's where it starts. Now, whether you believe if the Catholic faith, it went astray or whatever, it don't matter. There's always going to be Judases, man. There's always going to be Judases in the church. Your job is to do what Christ is asking you to do. And what Christ has asked you to do, he started the Catholic Church. That's where you need to be. And that's where you can grow. The church has been around for 2,000 years. Man, I'm telling you, I've been in these different religions. And I'm telling you, I'm only saying that this should be the Catholic faith because in the Catholic faith, they've been around 2,000 years and it's designed. The whole faith is designed step by step. Man, there's 9 levels of prayer in the Catholic faith. How many, if you're a Protestant, how many levels of prayer you know about? See, that's what I'm saying. People don't know their faith. People don't know Christianity. And, Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen said, people only leave or not part of the Catholic faith because of ignorance, not because of what the Catholic faith is. And the only reason I'm bringing this up so strong is, man, the Catholic faith will take you to places that you never knew you could go. And Christ started the church. So what we have to do is not man-made. He started it. And like I asked my cousin one time, she's in a Protestant denomination. I asked her, what if I told you that the Catholic faith is where Christ wants you to be? What would you do? And that's a question we should all ask ourselves. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up because your manhood and your masculinity will grow and it will give you the mission of what you need and how to grow close to the Father. And that's just the bottom line. If you're a Baptist or Methodist or Protestant or whatever you are, that's fine. Only thing I'm asking you to do is keep searching and keep growing. And if you do, I promise you, it will lead you to the faith. It will lead you to the Catholic faith. It really will if you're sincere. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. I know it's gonna be a controversy starter, but there's no other faith that will take you closer to God and get you where you need to be, which is where? Heaven, and get your beloved there and get your kids there. So next, gift number 16. A holy lover embraces fidelity. So a man, plain and simple, he controls his urges. And like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, these things that I'm saying, like I just said about the Catholic faith and stuff, man, don't shoot the messenger. Read the part in the Bible and look at the scriptures and just look it for yourself. Research it for yourself. And don't shoot the messenger. These things that I'm advocating are things that Christ is asking us to do. So infidelity for one. Again, remember what I said in prayer warfare. The number one danger you must protect your wife against is you. Plain and simple. Fidelity, you have to be with fidelity. If you are out, messing around with other women and trying to crack on other women and trying to be, that's what we used to say in the old days, trying to crack on a woman, But that's what we used to say. But basically it means trying to get with her, trying to be with her, and she's not your wife. Or trying to flirt with somebody, or trying to hug on them, and doing all the, looking at women with, and admiring them. I mean, it's okay, a woman's beautiful, but you can't be sitting there wishing that you was with her instead of your woman. See, dudes like that, I'm gonna tell you, the reason you have a problem with your wife and you don't desire your wife, because you not manning up right. These things that I'm saying, like being her best friend and praying for her and all these things will get you to become one flesh with your wife. Like I told my friends the other day, if your marriage is boring and it lacks intimacy and passion, that's your fault. Your fault. It ain't your wife's fault, it's your fault. You are not growing. You need to understand what these things mean, and that's why I'm trying to help you. So, like I said, man, fidelity breed, that's what a man does. A man does, if he controls his urges, no matter what it is. That's why God actually don't have sex before marriage and stuff, because you have to control your urges. And the reason why does Christ ask you to control your urges? He asks you to control your urges so that you learn how to be a man, that you learn that you knock away your rough edges, that you learn how to control and be disciplined. It makes you intellectually strong. It makes you powerful. That means you have learned, your old self is dying, and your new self, when you control your urges and all your wants and desires and put everybody else first, you start to grow as a man. You start to become holy. You start to become a saint. You start to become perfect. But as long as you out and doing all these pleasures that you think you want, engaging in all these things that are impure, you're not going to grow. Matter of fact, Satan is going to take hold of you, man, and drag you the other way. Now, we're not going to go in there. We already went in that in prayer warfare, but it's the truth. So, next. Gift number 17. A holy lover wins the heart of his beloved every day. A holy lover wins the heart of his beloved every day. And what that means is you need to do things that win her heart, that makes her heart melt for you. Kiss her deeply, look her in her eyes, serve her. And I know people ask, why is he always focusing on his wife like that? Why is he just focusing on the wife? Why ain't he focusing on me? The reason I'm not focusing on you, man, because you the leader, man. You ain't supposed to be focusing on you. You supposed to be getting yourself together and growing so that your wife will want to submit to you like Christ asked her to. So your wife will want to be the best wife she wants to be. So that your kids will want to be the best kids they can be. See, whatever you do, your wife gonna do. That's just the natural law. That's the proper order thing. That's what's going to happen. You have to get you right before your wife gets right. See, a lot of these dudes in the divorce court, hear what they do. They always talk about, well, she did this and she did that. She tried to take my money. She went out and messed around on me. She went out and did this. She went out and, spit off my money and took my car and wrecked my car. Or she messed around with this dude on me. Or, she yelled at me. She hurt my feelings. And, man, look, all that stuff don't mean nothing. When your wife is like that, the reason you're in divorce court is because you messed up. You are the one messed up. And what I always tell gentlemen is this. What you do is you fix you by praying and getting yourself together, and you will change. And then your wife will look at you and wonder what the heck happened. And then she will change too. She will want to change because she wants you to lead her. She wants y'all to do things together and grow together towards God. But what do? You go out and do all this stupid, crazy stuff and not doing your duty and responsibility as a man, don't want to fix yourself, think it's everybody else's fault but yours, and then you can't grow like that. Plain and simple. So that's what that is. Now, a holy lover protects his sexual health at all times. I'm gonna say it again, because a lot of y'all, watching this, you're gonna go, what? So I'm gonna say it again. Gift number 18. A holy lover protects his sexual health at all times. And what I mean sexual health, sexual performance issues. You got impotency, you're a premature ejaculator, you all sickly and you can't perform. You got to get that together, man. And I'm gonna tell you what I told one of my, a dude I told before. Does your wife deserve not to be close with you for the rest of her life? And I'm gonna tell you, I am not perfect. I've got problems too. But my point of what I'm saying is, let's take premature ejaculation for instance. Premature ejaculation basically means that you lose your cool, which is what I call it. You lose your cool, you ejaculate before your wife has the chance to even have one orgasm. That's premature ejaculation, dude. And guess what? About 75 of the men in the world are premature ejaculators. So your wife, that means she's not getting satisfied sexually. And you can't do that. We got to get that together. So that's one of the courses I have too. But anyway, your sexual health is important. You need sex. Don't be listening to what these people out here talking about. They don't understand sex, understand what the church is asking about sex. You don't listen to them people. You listen to Pope John Paul II about theology of the body. When in Love and Responsibility, he says, look, it's the duty and responsibility of every man to make sure that his wife has a climax when they making love. It's your duty. Not if, God, you know what I didn't say because you want to. No. So sex is important because why? Because it builds closeness. If you're not having sex with your woman, y'all just best friends. And people gonna dog me out and talk, but that's just the bottom line. I had a dude talking about, well, Jerry, it's always, you always talk about sex. No, I don't always talk about sex. That's the problem. People talk about sex in the wrong way. I'm not talking about lust. I'm talking about one flesh sex, dude. One flesh sex, which is what the Catholic Church and Christianity is all about. You better go out and learn about it and ask somebody. Stop watching the boob tube and seeing what them crazy people on there doing. We need to start talking about sex and the marital embrace the way the Father does. And that's why I talk so much about your sexual health. You can't be eating all these messed up stuff and all these bad things and get sick and not taking proper care of yourself because your sexual health is going to plummet. Okay? It's not fair to you. It's not fair to your beloved that you guys are not, that your sexual marital embrace is not the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to move on from that. Okay. Number 19, gift number 19. A holy lover rejects selfishness in all areas of his life. More important, his marriage. So I'm going to ask, like I've always asked before, what is, class, the number one cause of divorce? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. You got it. Selfishness. It's the number one cause of divorce. That's why everybody's at divorce court. That's why everybody's separated. That's why people that are staying married are not happy, because everybody's only concerned with themselves. Well, guess how you conquer that? Boom. You the man. God left you in charge of this realm. It's your responsibility. Guess what? So this is what you do. You put God first. You put your marriage and your beloved wife second. You put your kids, your knucklehead kids third, and you put yourself last. Everybody goes before you. See, people think because they're the head that means they get to tell everybody what to do. No, that ain't what happens. When you the head, that means your job is to serve everybody else and make sure they can be the best they can be. I've said that plenty of times before. See, You have to follow Christ and submit to Christ, and then your wife and your children will submit to you. Really, you're supposed to submit to each other, in reverence of Christ. But that's another blog post. But anyway, that's where we go. Okay, the last one for category 2, the art of manliness, how to man up. Gift number 20. A holy lover understands his masculinity is a gift from the Father on loan in service of him and his beloved wife. I'm going to read that one more time because it's a little long, but it's the most important thing that I have put in here. That's why I put it 20. A holy lover understands his masculinity is a gift from the Father on loan in service of him and his beloved, which means in service of the Father and your wife. Why? Because it takes 3 to make love, dude. You have to put God in all facets of your life. And your masculinity is a gift. And you have to be proud of your masculinity and all that it encompasses. Your manliness has meaning and purpose, and it's time you start using it. Stop being feminized. Stop allowing yourself to be emasculated. Speak up. Get angry. Show emotion. It's okay. Christ had righteous anger. Sometimes you gotta be angry, but talking loud and being direct, that is not anger, man. Everybody, we have to understand, we have to be a man and be who we are. Let women be women and we be men. Like I'm talking to you right now. Do I sound like I'm emasculated or feminized? No, I don't. You know why? Because, man, I wasn't brought up like that. I had a father that was on it. And people always talk to me about my kids. Oh, your kids always act good, and your kids are always so nice and proper and mannerful, and they never make noise, and they never disturb us, and they act like young gentlemen. Why do you think that? They are like that because I make them be like that. They had no choice, like my wife always says. They don't have a choice to whether to be good or not. And that's how we all should be as men. We don't let children run our houses. We run our houses. Us and our wives run our houses, not our children. And today, we can't even go to church without our kids yelling and screaming because their parents can't control them. But then, we must understand, like Father Rimber just says, spare the rod, spoil the child. You don't let any government agency or anybody tell you that you can't punish your children. Why? Because if you don't punish your children, dude, they're going to run your household. They're going to be cussing you out. The older they get, that stuff is cool when they little. When they little, oh, Johnny said a bad word. Oh, that's so cute. Or Johnny's being rude to his mama. Or Johnny's hitting his mother. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, then Johnny get 12, 13 years old. That's when they start mature. Or the girls get, usually girls start acting a trip when they get like 14, 15, ignoring you. They cussing the mama out, being disrespectful, going out to the kids, telling the kids that they mom and daddy are buttholes, disrespect. See, this kind of stuff, this is why we need fathers. We need fathers because our job is to control things and make sure things are going right. Serving everybody. And the way you serve your children is you discipline their butt. When they act up, you get them right. If you don't get them right, your kid gonna be in jail somewhere, or your kid gonna commit suicide, or your kid gonna be on drugs, or your kid gonna get 4 or 5 girls pregnant, or your daughter gonna have 3 and 4 babies before she's married. Don't think it ain't gonna happen. Just look outside your door, man. These things are happening. Your daughter is screwed up, or these daughters out here are screwed up. These boys are out here raping, murdering, robbing, on drugs, and in jail. I'm not talking about the black ones neither. Everybody these days, the Mexicans, the white boys, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Filipinos, the Cubans, the Koreans, everybody's kids are acting a fool. Everybody's kids are acting a fool. You know why? Because the men are being wusses. Bottom line. We have lost our dang masculinity and our manliness, and it's time for us to get it back. I don't mean be angry and be going crazy and shooting up everybody. What I mean is be a man of God, be a man of Christ, and understand what the heck that means. Understand how tough and direct and aggressive and masculine and strong Christ was. He was not a punk. He was a man. And it's time for us to stand up like he did and die for something. Enough on that. Sorry, y'all, I went off on that a little bit, but I get sick of this stuff, man. I really do. People think that, evil is random. Evil ain't random. Evil happens because we ain't praying like we supposed to. We let these crazy people that want to indulge in their own pleasures and stuff, we allow them to run the country. And we as Christians, we don't stand up no more. We don't say nothing. Oh, we do, but it's too late. I'm not saying it's too late now. What I'm saying is we wait so long that stuff didn't change. Man, no-fault divorce happened 40 years ago or more. What are we doing? When no-fault divorce happened, it should have never happened because no-fault divorce led to contraception. No-fault divorce led to all these things and what's going on. Like right now, abortion. No-fault divorce, contraception. I can have the order wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. No-fault divorce, contraception, abortion. Now we have gay same-sex marriage. Can we get any worse? And the reason why? You really can't, and I'm just going to be real. You really can't blame the homosexual, same-sex attracted dudes for acting how they act, man. What kind of examples of men have we given them? Let's just be real about it. We don't stand up for nothing. Oh, but boy, if you talk about somebody's sports team, talk to Dallas Cow. Go to Texas and talk about the Dallas Cowboys and get shot and see what happens. You're gonna get shot. Talk better about the Chicago Bulls or the Chicago Bears or the Cleveland Browns or the Denver Broncos or somebody like that or the Yankees or something. Man, a dude will try to whoop your butt. But tell a dude to protect his daughter. Don't let his daughter date or court anybody until she's 16, 17, 18 years old. Don't let your daughter go out with a dude on a date by himself because a dude is just trying to screw her, or don't let your daughter or let your son just go out all times of night and trying to get with these girls all over the place, getting all this mischief. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about pulling God off the courthouse and all this stuff. Anything that really matters in our life, we don't stand up for that. That's why you have what we have right now. That's why the country's so screwed up. That's why your environment's so screwed up, because you're not controlling your environment. And that's the truth, man. That's just the truth. We even got to have God and Christ up in this. Just look at it. Just look outside the door. Evil and bad stuff happening is not random. It happens because you ain't praying. It happens because you're not protecting your family. That's what it is. I mean, spiritually protecting your family, not just physically with guns in your fists. Your spiritual protection can do way more than what your fist can do. But see, we don't understand that. We silly. If we would just ask ourselves the tough questions, like, where does your soul go when you die? That's another thing. People think, well, we just all stop. No, we don't. Man, your soul is energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Where does your soul go when you die? See, think about that. We don't think about these kind of questions. Your soul's got to go somewhere. Your body's dead, but your soul's go somewhere, man. Think about that. So your soul just not going to hang there in the midair. What happens when you die? What really happens? What's the purpose of life? What are you here for? See, I heard this dude on Catholic Answers Day. He's silly. Talking about, the Catholic Church and Christianity, they just making these things to have a crutch and lean on people. No, man, that ain't it. We smart. We ask the tougher questions. We got some of the greatest minds. The Catholic Church has some of the greatest minds in the history of the world, dude. St. Thomas Aquinas, you better ask somebody. And you have to understand, man, if you're not praying and getting things together, man, that's why your family gets attacked. That's why all this bad stuff happens. God didn't say everything was going to be perfect, but the great thing about it is when bad things do happen in your life, you unite that suffering with Christ and his church, and man, you'll get through it. And you'll come through it with flying colors. You'll be stronger. You'll be more pure. You'll have a strength behind you. You'll be masculine. But anyway, I said enough on that today. I went past longer than what I want to. But anyway, so now, like I said, all the things I've said today, don't blame me. Have a talk with God. These are his things. This ain't me. It's the Holy Spirit talking. I'm a little bit more tougher than the Holy Spirit. I talk a little bit more direct to you. But that's because you're not listening. When people don't listen, you gotta raise the level on them. My job is to plant seeds and get you to understand that the Catholic faith and Christianity, man, it's about planting seeds, and it's a growth. It's practical. It's everyday practical life, But the problem is, like I said, we want to do what we want to do. We don't want to do the tough stuff. So moving on. So let me ask: are you ready to take your marriage to the next level? And I think, I know I'm being hard on everybody. I'm being hard on you, and I'm talking tough to you and being hard on you. But it's for a reason, man, because I know you could be great. I know that if we change the man, that everything else will change. If we start understanding our purpose and our mission, like I was telling my friend the other day on July 4th, I mean, we have to start. If you give a man a mission, most men will rise up to that, unless you're just a total punk. But most men, if you get in their face and you challenge them, they will rise to the occasion. And that's the problem. Proverbs 27, iron sharpens iron. That means men sharpen men. Your wife and your mother and your father, your wife, your mother, and your daughter, and all these other women out here, they can't sharpen us. A woman can't make a man do what he needs to do, because a man's not influenced by a woman. You can talk all you want to, but that's the truth. Other men sharpen men. Other men make men tough. Other men challenge other men to do what's right and be virtuous and be high moral character. But if we don't say anything like we have now, people just do whatever they want and cause foolishness and craziness, then we start talking about, well, what happened? Why is everybody killing everybody? Why does this woman just kill her kids and kill her husband? Why does she just stab her to death? Man, that stuff happens because men are sitting around and not taking responsibility. So, your marriage, like right now, your marriage might be nice, but is it good? Better yet, is it legendary? Do you have a great marriage? Is it a legendary marriage? When I mean legendary marriage, it means that your wife and your marriage, your love that you've created flows out into the world and influences everybody else around you. And see, that's a challenge. That's how you be great. See, you create a marriage where the love is so tough and so great that it just flows out to your children, to your children's children, to your children's children's children. But see, if we be like everybody else in society, all these other knucklehead dudes out here, be like them, we're not creating anything. So let's do this and rock and get to work. Next, start the day turning a bad marriage into a good marriage and a good marriage into a great marriage by taking my Holy Lover Challenge. Now, I just went through 20 so far of prayer warfare and the art of manliness. I went through 20. So now what I want you to do, I want you to click the link and I want you to go and enter your email and enter your email and your name and download the Holy Lover test and checklist and take the Holy Lover Challenge. Do the test, see where you are and how you can better improve yourself, how you can grow. Boom. Why? Why am I asking you to do this? Why am I so hard on you? Why am I challenging you? Why am I making you get off your butt? The reason why, I'm just going to say it. Does your wife deserve any less than your best? Does she deserve any less than you can give her? Does she? What have you, for the last 5 years, the last year, the last 6 months, the last 30 years, 40 years, have you given, can you honestly say you've given your wife, your beloved, the mother of your children, the best, your best, every day? Can you say that? That's why I want you to go download this checklist and show what kind of man you're going to be. That's what I'm talking about right there, brother. Come on. So, stop taking, well, what I'm going to say this is basically stop letting your ego and your pride get in your way. Learn something. Take some action. Stop taking your marriage and your wife for granted. Take action and learn and do something. Subscribe today. Click on the link and take the Holy Lover Challenge. Also, for more in-depth coverage of today's information, read my blog post, or if you're on YouTube, click the link below and it'll take you to the blog post. Now, I'm saying a lot of stuff, but the blog post is even more in-depth. And plus, it's a hard copy of the things that I'm talking about. Read it, enjoy it, learn something, man. Put the stuff to use. Lastly, next, okay, coming up now, hopefully either tomorrow or the next day, we're going to go into part 3 of the Holy Lover series. Are you a holy lover? Your manhood on trial. So the third category, love making mastery. That's right. And I'm not even gonna lie, man. You need to be a world-class lover for your beloved. That's just the bottom line, dude. You need to learn how to love your wife so hard that she can't stand it. And I know that a lot of people are gonna be, oh, he's a Catholic and he's talking like that. He's a Christian, he's talking like that. I ain't care what you're talking about. Because I know what the church asks of us as in the marital embrace. Do you know? See, people think that Christians are all upset, especially Catholics, that we all uptight about sex. No, we ain't. Problem is, most of us, especially the men, don't even understand what real sex, the one flesh, is about. See, you gotta understand and learn your faith, man, because I'm telling you, God created you and he knows what's going on, baby. And the more ignorant you are and the more foolish you act, the less you know. You can't enhance, you can't grow. And I'm telling you, these things I'm going to talk about in Making Love Mastery in the next video, man, these are some things that nobody ever told you before. And like I said, all these 3 categories go together. Prayer warfare, the art of manliness, being a world-class lover. These all things go together, man, to make your wife understand that you are trying to be the highest, virtuous, high moral character man of God, and you trying to follow Christ and lead her and your family to heaven, as well as the rest of this crazy society. So, that's all I got. And like I said, Making Love Mastery is going to be fun. So, lastly, as we end, I want to give one of my favorite quotes from Pope Benedict XVI. And it states, society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Now, go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle.